Episode 12 was a return to form for DanMachi. What we got in this episode is the kind of shit that made season 1 so great. What is up, y'all? It's your man, Dad Dude, bringing you guys another video. I'm giving out subscriptions down below, so if you like DanMachi, I review every episode, and I'm talking about other anime too, so go hit that button. That fight between Asterius and Bell, my god, that was amazing. I just loved how you could really feel the desperation from both of them. The weight of the moment, the fight really just felt like something more than an adventure fighting a monster, because it was something more than just an adventure fighting a monster. There was a lot more meaning behind that fight than what you could typically get than an adventure and a monster fighting in a dungeon or whatever. And I love the way that the story really came full circle with Asterius basically being the reincarnation of the centaur that Bell killed in season 1. This is what we've been missing from DanMachi. Like, as good as some of the fights were in season 2, none of them were this good. Like, there are a few fights in season 1 that are this good, but none of the fights in season 2 really felt as good as this fight was. And like I said, it was a return to form. Like, season 2, I found lackluster, and for the most part, season 3, I have also found lackluster. But we've gotten more shit like this, more fights like this, where we see Bell taking on a monster that is definitely out of his class and just way stronger than him, but still desperately trying to win. This would have been a much better season. If they had done that more season 2, it would have been a much better season, but they didn't. For some reason, they went away from a formula that worked so well in season 1 to try something else, to try to reinvent the wheel in seasons 2 and 3. Like, I get it, you got to keep your story fresh and try new things with your plot, but I feel like they had a pretty good formula in season 1. In season 1, it wasn't like it was like 50 episodes. It didn't run very long. You had so much more time to reuse that same formula and just progress Bell's character a bit by bit as you go. It would have been great, but they didn't. And so getting this fight between Asterius and Bell is just a reminder of what this show could have been. It is a reminder of the potential this show had, and largely that potential is very much wasted. Did everyone else expect Bell to win? Because I sure did. But it was a pleasant surprise that he didn't. I love that the story went in that direction of having him pretty much get wrecked by Asterius. Bell got his ass kicked. Like, yeah, he put up a pretty decent fight, but it's worth noting Asterius only had one arm. Dude had one arm, and he was straight wrecking Bell. He was putting Bell through buildings, just throwing that dude around like a rag doll, and it was awesome. I don't know if Asterius versus Bell Part 2 was as good as Part 1 though. Like, it was definitely more grand in scale, and the fight was, I don't know how to put it. It's more like, it's like comparing like Goku versus Cell or Frieza to Goku versus Captain Ginyu. Like, it's just it's just the scale of the fight is just so different. But I can't say it was the better fight, because Bell versus Asterius Part 1 was Bell's coming out party. That was Bell announcing himself as a legit adventurer and showing the potential of what his character could be. So I'm going to lean that Asterius versus Bell Part 1 was better. But if you were to come to me and say Part 2 was the better fight, I wouldn't really have much to refute that. This is more just a feeling and more just like how it feels in my gut. But I don't have anything objective to say as to why Part 1 is better than Part 2, or why as Part 2 would be better than Part 1. More just a taste thing. So are we gonna call what Hermes did a betrayal? Because ultimately it seemed like he had Bell's best interest at heart. Now, he definitely went about it in a very underhanded manner, but it did seem like he was trying to look out for Bell in his own twisted way. And it never seemed like he held any real ill will towards the Xenos. It just seemed like he was a lot more realistic about how the Xenos could live in harmony with people, as in he didn't believe they could live in harmony with people. So I can't say that what he did was a betrayal. You can just call it underhanded and maybe dirty, like foul play. But he wasn't trying to hurt Bell, and it didn't really seem like he was actually trying to hurt the Xenos. He just knew that, or he just felt that the best way to preserve Bell's reputation within the city was that, hey, some of the Xenos gotta die, and I can't really fault him ultimately if he's going to try to save Bell and Bell's reputation by sacrificing the Xenos. That doesn't make him evil. That's not him betraying Bell and the others. That's just him maybe being a bit more nihilistic, I guess, about how to use Xenos and what role the Xenos can play within the city. So yeah, would you guys call what Hermes did a betrayal? Do you think he was being dirty and underhanded? I mean, he's definitely being underhanded. But would you call what he did dirty or a betrayal? Let me know. After what was a pretty up and down season, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Really stuck the landing. Like this finale was amazing. But to be honest, it kind of had to be amazing, because if it wasn't, I don't know if I'd have been really interested in any upcoming seasons. Season 2 was a bit of a letdown for me. And for the most part, season 3 was also a letdown. So if this finale hadn't been so great, I probably would have been inclined to drop this show going forward. If we get a season 4 and this finale hadn't been awesome, I might not even watched it. But this episode was so great, it brought me back around. I'm back in. I am again invested in this show. And so I look forward to seeing where the story is going to go from here. What is Bell going to do now that he got his ass straight kicked by Asterius? Well, how's he gonna respond to this? We know that Asterius is back down in the dungeon training again, so he's already stronger than Bell, and he's back down there training his ass off again. And we know that Bell is back training with Eyes, but what is his relationship with Eyes going to be going forward? Is he gonna, confess his feelings to her? That would be kind of cool. I want to see that eventually. Is there gonna be some kind of like resentment or animosity there between them because of the role he played with the Xenos, and maybe there are differences in the way they view monsters? What's going to happen there? Also, what's going to happen with the group of gods, the evil group of gods that this season introduced but didn't really explain much about? What do they call them? Evilas or something like that. So there are a few storylines that I think where season 4 can really take those storylines and give us a really good season. I think season 4 has the potential to be really good. But I thought this season had the potential to be really good, and it just wasn't. It just had a few really good episodes and an amazing finale. So I hope season 4 is really good. I am a fan of this show. Ultimately, I am invested in this show, so I want it to do well. But I gotta be honest, and lately, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? That hasn't been all that great. It hasn't really been as great as season 1 was. So will it be better going forward? I really hope so, but we'll see. Alright guys, I'll have you on this one. If you like this video, go hit that thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, like and share. It would help me out a lot. If you didn't like the video, let me know why in the comments. We can talk about it. I respond to almost everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.